All right. What's going on, everybody? Hopefully we got some folks here looking forward to some flying today. We've got the, yeah, in Kashif we are on daylight savings time. So welcome back. We are in St. Bart's. I want to check out today. Hey Bob, what's going on? I want to check out the new Piper Warrior because they updated the Warrior, and it's such a great, I mean, it's a great airplane to begin with, but they updated it with the CFD for, I mean, it's ultimately for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So the CFD is what is going to be, what the cool thing is going to be in 2024. So they got this out and going last week. So I say we check it out. So let's hop inside. One thing I can't figure out some of the buttons, because of course all my controls have been deleted in the last like however many weeks here. Let me get myself comfortable. Alright, so I got all this stuff set. Let's see here real quick. Gotta get rid of the chocks, the tie downs. No, we want wheel pairings. And we'll take that right yoke too. Hey Schmarkash, what's going on? How are you? Good to see you. So I think we're good to go. And I forget how to turn, oh. No, I forget how to turn this thing off. Right there, I do believe, there we go. Alright, cool. Awesome, good to see you guys. So let's go. Rotating beacon on. Mixture rich. Carb heat is cold. Master and battery switches on. Fuel pumps on. Let's crack the throttle, toes on the brakes. Gotta get myself set here. Crack the throttle, toes on the brakes. One thing we're gonna do before we make ourselves look silly is turn the fuel on. I like fuel on the left tank to start. Alright, so fuel's on the left tank. And then we're gonna go.
Clear prop.
Alright, and there we go. Let's see, bring the throttle back just a little bit. Where's my oil pressure? Oil pressure is right here. Oil temperature is good. Oil pressure is good. I can't figure out how to turn the avionics master switch on, which is a little bit annoying. And those aren't coming on at all anyway. Oh, there we go. Alright, well, there we go. Jamie Whitman, what's going on? How are you doing? What's happening? Let's see, we got our flight plan in. So, go nav and strobes on. Go fuel pump off. Fuel pressure is okay. Lean the mixture a little bit for taxi. Let's release the parking brake. And we're ready to rumble here, folks. So I'm pretty excited about flying this airplane. And I haven't flown my own Cherokee in a while. I was just talking to Mrs. IslandSimPilot today. I want to go. I'm like itching to go flying again in real life. And I just didn't have much time this summer and this fall. So let's see here. Oh yeah, Jamie, I remember those old days of watching sports on Sundays. I don't really do that anymore unless it's Formula One. Let's see, nav and strobe lights are on. Go landing light coming on. We'll go fuel pump on. I can already tell you that my rudders are way too sensitive. I haven't flown this plane yet since it was updated. And so I don't know what the sensitivities are like at all. But I can tell you it's a sharp looking airplane. It is a sharp looking airplane. I love Cherokees. I just love Cherokees. All right, Bob's holding short behind, so we'll go mixture rich. Fuel pump is on. Carb heat is cold. Traffic is clear on final. Let's see, what's my trim? Trim is looking good. Just a little bit after neutral is good for the old Piper Cherokee. Juan Coto. Which tracker do I use? Do you mean like I use Volanta, if that's what you're talking about? Why am I? Oh no! Don't tell me. Oopsie. Oh no! Don't tell me. Okay. Now, easy there, airplane. That was a silly thing. I haven't never done that before in in the sim. Hopefully I didn't damage my wing. Alright. Mixture rich fuel pump is on. Carb heat is cold. Power coming in. Oh, head tracker. I'm sorry, Juan. I use Tobii Eye Tracker 5 actually. And whoa. I am now full right rudder and that. What was that all about? That was weird. Alright, hold on here. It's Tobii Eye Tracker 5. And it's really cool because the great thing I used oh, this feels totally different. This feels totally different. I used Track IR5 for years, like for about 15 years. And I didn't think I would ever switch. And the only reason I did is, not the only reason, but the main reason that I did is because Tobii is wireless. And I can't tell you how much of a difference that makes. I'm going to drop down for about 90 knots for cruise here. Yeah, Juan, I recommend it. I recommend it, like, first of all, head tracking to me is like, this CFD feels completely different than the old plane, than the old Warrior. Wow. It's weird, you've got actual, it almost feels like there's 1,000 AGL. Let's go fuel pump off. Fuel pressure is good. It almost feels like there's like it's sensitive to speed now. Sensitive to airspeed, which is very unlike Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I'm using live weather, and it seems awfully dark. Nose down trim. Hopefully once we get turned into, well, I guess we're into the sun, so yeah, it's gonna be dark. But anyway, Juan, what I was saying, yes, so I used Tobii, I used Track IR5 for about 15 years. And you would have had to pry that thing out of my cold dead hands because it was just so great. I really liked the Track IR5. The only thing is that it's got a wire, and that wire is annoying. And Tobii Eye Tracker is fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And it's wireless. It's great. Yeah, Jamie. You know what? I'm not far behind you. I'm about a year and a month behind you, buddy, Jamie. Desktop for Braxton. That's awesome. So have you had a chance to use it much, Jamie? That's really cool. So my first impression of the updated warrior is it's crazy. Oh, you must be excited about that, Jamie. That's really great. I hope it fulfills your wishes. And that's a very good point, Bob. A belated happy birthday to you as well, Jamie. My apologies for not thinking of that one earlier. That's really cool. I hope that gives you what you're looking for. That's pretty exciting. So let's go 249 on the heading here. The scale on this thing is a little bit off. Alright, so power back to about 24. Nose it over. You're welcome, Juan, anytime. Gladly. And now we'll get a little bit of nose down trim. And wow. I mean, I'm telling you, this is wild. Has a totally different feel from what the Warrior used to have. Like a totally different feel. And 3,000 feet. I'm not gonna lean. I forget which way. Let's see here. Let's do it that way. There we go. So, I am very curious to see what this feels like. So that is the next thing I need to set up a camera view for here. Yeah. Alright, let's see here. There we go. Alright, that's better. So we're hanging out in the Piper Warrior. And just a little bit more. Oh. Come on. Yeah, I never really used trim in this plane. Oh, yeah, it is. That's the, I forget what that's called, light adjustment or something. I don't really like the feature, but that's sort of what happens in real life. But let's see here. Alright, we got all our lights on, we got our fuel pump off, we are happy folks. Let's see here. Sorry for, I'm just trying to figure it. It's hard to figure out in the sim exactly what does what here. That seems to have it. But so initial feel on the Warrior is it just feels really it's hard to explain. Like in real life, the faster you're going, the stiffer the controls feel. Like when you're going slow, your controls are kind of soupy. And that's kind of what it felt like when I was climbing out, which I'm not used to in the sim. So it's really kind of interesting. Take a sip of me tea there. So I figured this would be a good place to give it a try. I didn't check my weight and balance or my fuel before I started flying, but that's all right. Traffic. There's bungalow. So I always do this to myself. Whenever I try a new plane, I always try it at some place where you really shouldn't try it. I mean, it's not a new plane, but like with the update, it feels like it's flying quite different. And so I have this habit of trying new planes in kind of challenging places. But that's all right. And let's see here. Hey, Justin, what's going on? How are you? You know what? The Black Square Caravan, that is funny. That is such a mainstay of Caribbean aviation. It like really is. And I've just never gotten, let's say 241. And I've just never gotten into flying that plane. And I should have. Because it is a really cool airplane. Let's bug our runway heading here. 1, 2. Also noticed I've gotten really bad ghosting for a while now. Alright. In the sim. Really bad ghosting. And yeah, the Caravan is like such a mainstay of Caribbean aviation. Soupy. Yeah, it just feels soupy, like, and that's one of the things that my father always said. I started flying with my dad when I was 1, but one of the things he always said is if you can't feel, because the controls when you get close to a stall, you can go full deflection left and right on the ailerons, and the plane won't even barely budge. It just it's because there's no air going over the wings to give you any control authority. And one of the things my dad always said was if you can't feel that, you don't belong in the cockpit. You don't belong in the airplane. And Justin, I totally agree. It's gotten really bad the last, like, I don't know what the deal is. I'm back to about 2100 on the power. It's gotten really bad the last couple weeks. I don't know what the deal is, but it's bad. Not good. And we'll drop down, and hopefully it'll pitch back up. It should get about at 2100 RPM. I should get about. I think so. I didn't check the wind, Bob, to be honest with you. I should probably do that. What's the wind here at Saba? Wind at Saba is variable at 2 knots. I've never landed the other way at Saba. But yes, so we'll land to 1, 2. But what I was saying was, whenever I do these, like kind of the first time out with a new plane or with an updated plane, I always pick a really difficult place to land. And what I should do is pick somewhere easy, especially if I'm streaming, to make myself look good. But we didn't do that today. So we shall We shall see. But I tell you, the controls felt the controls feel completely different. They felt completely different on takeoff. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Bob's got the jump on me today. He's got in the Islander. You got a good 20 knots on me, actually, now that I think about it. It was funny because I flight planned today, for like time-wise, for about an hour. I figured about an hour and a half of flying. And I think I was a little bit optimistic about how far I'd make it in this airplane in an hour and a half. We'll see, right? Alright, let's level off here at 1500. And yeah, it's definitely... So I can only imagine it's the CFD that is different. Alright, so... It definitely feels quite different. Alright, mixture rich carb heat cold. Let's do a carb heat check here real quick. Let's clear the carb heat. Carb heat on. And a little bit of RPM drop. And what when you do a carb heat check like that, what you're listening for, you're listening to hear whether the engine coughs or hesitates. And Ty, I absolutely can. I'd be happy to do that. There was only like 1 or 2 changes from the stock Tobii eye tracker settings that I changed, but they did make a pretty big difference. So I would definitely do that. If you go into the Discord and just remind me, I'll do it. Or just put a comment to this video and I'll remember. Try and remember. Scott, good to see you again as well. The update came out, I think, like a week ago. And we're in the white arc, so we're gonna put in a notch of flaps. Go back to about 1900 on the power. We'll go fuel pump on, and we'll start going downhill. Bronco Aviation. Oh, okay. If this airplane starts, if it feels as good as it feels right now, I might really get back into single engine flying again. Because this, I mean, Piper Cherokees are where my heart is. Yes, Jay, Justin, you're absolutely correct about that. So I don't use eye tracking at all. I use it strictly as a head tracker. And we'll go second notch of flaps, and I don't have any sound for the flaps, which is a little confusing. Alright, we'll turn it in here. We'll go for... Go for 75 knots on final, I think. Usually 80. My Cherokee's in miles per hour, so I always get confused in Cherokees. And when they have knots. Alright. I'm low here, because you're supposed to be about 600 feet at that rock. I'm low. Alright, mixtures full forward, gears down and welded. Fuel pump is on. I need to stop descending here. Otherwise, we're gonna have a problem. Yeah, I don't use eye tracking at all with the Tobii. This is a completely flat approach. Alright, what's my RPM here? Alright. So, let's see here. Alright, power's out. Going around. Going around. Alright. Let's get some airspeed here. Positive rate of climb. Walking up 1 notch of flaps. Alright, that was not comfortable. The controls at low speed feel completely different, which they should. But it's it's interesting. I like it. Alright, let's do just a regular pattern here at 1,000 feet. I'm gonna leave it at 80 knots, 1 notches of flaps. And we'll just do a regular pattern here. And come around. Heading of 300. Gosh, I think this is the second week in a row that I have not had any luck on my first landing attempt at Saba. Alright. Alright, we'll come back to about 2100 here. I'm using the power settings that I use in my Cherokee, which my Cherokee's a 180, this is a 160. But the power settings aren't that much different. Alright, 1 notch of flaps. Gotta wait until we get about 45 degrees off the right. Saba, yes. Nope, Saba. It is. Alright, we're about 45. There we go. I'll come back to about 19. Second notch of flaps. Don't want to get too slow here. I'm going to keep the turn coming because you don't square this one completely out. Alright. $70 knots, I'm relatively happy. About 400 feet a minute descent. This is flat again, but it's deceiving because of the runway. So, no, don't flatten out. Alright. This runway is so deceiving. Yeah, that's really good. Jeez. Alright, just get on the ground, please. Full yoke back in my lap. Okay, that was poor. But again, I should, you know, maybe picking something other than the world's shortest commercial runway would be a good idea for my first landing in this plane. Alright, lean the mixture a little bit for taxi. I can turn on some actually some panel lights here. It's probably not a bad idea. There we go. Alright, so get the mixture in the heading, and altimeter is set, and we'll try this again. That one, that one was a little bit iffy. That was more than a little bit iffy. And we're gonna head right down to St. Eustatius, which should be a much more welcoming environment. Alright, we're looking good on final. Mixture is full forward. Bring it around here, get ourselves on center line. Alright, toes on the brakes. Mixture is rich. Fuel pumps on. Let's take a quick look at our trim here. Trim is okay. And power coming in. Alright, power is set. Engine instruments are in the green. Toes off the brakes. This is, it's getting wicked P factor. Now I know that. Airspeed's alive. But the rudders feel like they actually do something, which is nice. And off we go. As my friend Pete would say, let's go commit aviation. Alright. I don't have full flaps in, do I? Alright. So. Let's see. I forgot this plane has an EGT. Cool. Alright. That's a pretty good climb attitude. And drop that second notch of flaps. Alright. This thing is underpowered, the 160. It is underpowered. Alright, let's go. Let's go direct. TNCE. Activate. And direct is 137. Alright. Coming up on 1,000 feet. That is give or take 137. 1,000 feet AGL. Turn our fuel pump off. Check our fuel pressure. Fuel pressure is good. And let's pitch down. The plane, I don't, seems like it's a little slow compared to what I would expect it to be. I mean, I would expect, it's hot and humid though. It is hot and humid. Which doesn't help. Alright, fuel pumps off. Let's see here. Once I level off, I'm gonna switch fuels. I'm gonna switch tanks here. But the slow speed handling definitely feels different. Like, definitely feels different. Oh shoot! I did that again. I keep hitting the wrong button when I'm. I've got some key combination set to turn the engine off that is very, very close to the key combination I have set to take a picture. And every once in a while, I turned my engine off. Don't worry, there's no shortcuts in the real plane. 2,000 feet would have been good, but yeah, you know what? I can tell you some good. I can tell you some good pilot error stories. I've made plenty of them. Alright. We'll nose it over here. It's gonna... All I do is just pull the power until you hear the engine pitch change. And you can fine-tune your power later. Just turn it out here in level flight. Go fuel pump on. Come over here. Thank God I pressed that correctly. And now let's check our power. See, it's almost uncanny. If you to set cruise power in a single engine plane, just pull the power back until you hear the engine noise change. You almost always get it right. Because I was aiming for 2400 and that's exactly what I got. So we got runway 6. So Kashif, you'll be relieved to know that I've only almost accidentally turned my engine off in flight in real life once. Only once. And boy did I learn that lesson. Kashif, you should do it. Do it, 100%, man. Do it, because you know what? You only live once, and you have a passion for flying. You would love it. You would love it. Getting your pilot's license is a hoot. It's different than you think it's going to be, but it is a hoot. So we'll come back to 2100. There we go. Yeah, so the one time, as a matter of fact, it was my first solo cross country. I almost killed the engine in flight. You'd almost think that I would have decided to stop flying at that time, but what happened was I had just departed. I had flown the outbound leg and I was coming back, and it was in a Piper Cherokee 140, and I took off and I was leveling out at 3,000 feet on the way home, and I got to 3,000 feet and I pushed the nose over to level out, and I started pulling back on the throttle, and the power didn't come down, it just stayed the same. And so I kept pulling on the throttle and nothing changed on the power. They kept pulling and pulling and pulling and nothing happened. And eventually the engine did this to me. Eventually it did that. And as soon as it did that, I knew that I wasn't pulling on the power, I was pulling on the mixture, because I didn't look at it to see which I was, you know. And that was the time. There's certain lessons in flying that people can tell you all they want, but until you do it, you're probably not gonna get it into your head. And go and notch your flaps. And I left my fuel pump on anyway. There's certain things in flying that you won't get into your head until you screw it up yourself. Somebody can tell you, but you just won't get it. And that was one of those things for me. And I have never forgotten that. You don't ever push any buttons or pull any levers or push any levers or whatever until you look at it and verify what you have in your hand. Like the golden rule. Alright, we're looking at a 5-mile final here. Yeah, that one was not good. And if I had managed to kill it, I would have been in trouble because I was probably about 2,000 feet AGL at the time, and I had about 25 hours in about 25 hours in overall total time. And yeah, restarting an engine in flight in about 30 seconds. I was over woods too. Would not have been good. But no, the problem I have with the sim I keep doing is when I go to take a screenshot, if I hit the wrong button, I gotta figure out which button I have that turns the engine off. Because I have one. And I don't know what it is. Alright, time for a sip of tea here. Yeah, Kashif, I do the same thing. I just have I have a key combo set to take the screenshot, but it's obviously too I don't know what I have set up to turn the engine off. I should really figure that out. So we're looking for about 1,000 feet and 3 miles is what makes you happy in life. On an approach, let's check the wind. Wind is there is variable at 2 knots. Okay. Alright, we'll go power back to about 1,700. Alright, fuel pump's on. Mixture's rich. Gear is down and welded. And this time I don't want to get as slow as I did last time. I'm going to pitch for 80 knots. I don't want to get as slow as I did going into Saba. 80 knots and 400 feet per minute is what I'm looking for. Need a little bit more juice. And I'm getting pushed left, even though it says the wind is at 2 knots. Alright. So, fuel pump's on, mixture is rich, carb heat is cold. Seatbelts are secure, gear is down and welded, pre-landing checklist complete. Yeah, dehumidifier would be good when it's 100% humidity. Alright, 80 knots, 400 feet. Keep an eye on that nose popping up. Still got 4 weight. There we go. There's 1 red. 1 red is enough to make me happy on this approach. Because it's going to get choppy in here. And I've got enough runway. A little bit more juice. Yep, I know. Alright. I think mechanical turbulence in the sim is overdone, but alright, power now coming back. Got the runway made. So now we have no excuse for not making a decent landing. Power coming back. I tell you what, it's got a totally different slow speed feel, the airplane. And now let's pitch that nose up. A little bit of left rudder, a little bit of right aileron. Not that much. Am I still not on the ground? Okay, that was a full stall landing. Jeez. And not a good one. Interesting. So, this is going to take a little bit to get used to. Let's see. Lean the mixture a little bit. Like a lake out there today. Oh, you used to live on St. Croix? We went to St. Croix about, let's see, probably 2015 we went to St. Croix. For a week. It was really pretty. It's a beautiful island. St. Croix is a beautiful island. Yeah, they've got that one spot in St. Croix where it drops, what, like 5,000 feet? Go flaps up, fuel pump off, even though I shouldn't be doing this on the runway. Sorry, Bob, that you have to spend all your day waiting for me today because I'm so slow. This is... You got 20 knots on me. Alright, let's go... Nah, not so much trim. But it's just the low speed handling of the plane is completely different. Like completely different from what it used to be. I mean, I generally, like, once I was short final 80 knots, 400 feet per minute descent. I don't trim after that. I won't trim after that because the reason is because you're usually about at the right trim setting if you need to go around, and if you start trimming more and more nose up and you do have to go around, that can be difficult. So let's see here, a little bit after neutral. Let's go fuel pump on. Mixture is rich. Carb heat is cold. All right, we'll just do a normal takeoff here. Power coming in. Takeoff power is set. Rudders feel a little bit jittery, but airspeed's alive. There's 60 knots. Pitch the nose up and just let the plane fly itself off the ground. What is the windsock doing here? A little C1. Let's see here. All right, 400 feet AGL. Start our turnout, and we'll pitch for 90 knots and trim, and off we go. Let me see. Hey, Kenneth, how are you doing? Good to see you. Good afternoon to you as well. It's 600, climbing 3,000. And we'll go... We'll go... Let me see here. If I knew my alphabet, that would help. TKPK. No. No. There's 1,000 feet AGL. We'll go fuel pump off. Check our fuel pressure. Fuel pressure is fine. Still cruising. Still climbing at 90 knots. And we'll try this one more time. TKPK. Yeah, there we go. And direct is 145. Let me see here. I did not. No, I did plug my runway heading. I'm so proud of myself. We haven't had one of our regulars, Jim, who is a flight instructor, retired flight instructor. He reminded me about that. There we go. Runway heading is bugged for let's see here. St. Croix for 18 years. That's pretty cool. St. Croix is beautiful. Yeah, the 140. That's what I got my. That's what I got my private in. I got my instrument rating in a 180, Cherokee 180. It's weird because the 140s, like prior to 1971 or so, putting in flaps in the Cherokee pitches the nose down, and starting in 1972 putting in flaps in the Cherokee pitches the nose up. That was the biggest thing I had to learn. It's not like it was a big deal. That was the biggest thing I had to learn when I switched from the 140s to the 180. 2800 climbing 3000. Yeah, they are great planes. They're very forgiving. Cessnas will drop a wing if you mess up too bad. There's 50 feet below our cruise altitude. Pull the power back until you hear a change in the engine, and then trim for level of flight. And I bet you $10 will be at 2400 RPM when we look down. Trimming here just a little bit. That's too much. I bet you will be right at 2400 RPM when we look down. Let's see. Yeah, the trim was on the roof. Yeah, and the 140. Alright, let's see our power. 2400, see that? It's, after a while, it's funny how that works. Once you hear like a distinct engine change from full power, it's just almost always right at 2400 in the Cherokee. Yeah, well, especially full flaps, and I never land full flaps, which in some ways is silly. But Kashif, what were you saying before? Not nose up, nose down as the aircraft is floating since you're too far aft trim for landing. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it. First of all, I'm going to check. Alright, flaps are up. Fuel pump is off. Cruise checklist complete. If anything, I was too fast. Let's see, where's white arc is 45 knots. What is 45 times 1.3? Anybody know? 45 times 1.3. Oh yeah, I was way too fast. So they're saying basically 60 knots. Over the fence. Alright, let's try that. 70 knots in the pattern, 60 knots over the fence. You know what? The funny thing is, if there's one universal truth about flying small planes, what a cool sight. If there's one universal truth about flying small planes, it's that almost everybody, and I mean everybody, flies the pattern too fast. Almost everybody, myself included. And the reason why is because you're low to the ground and you're slow, and one thing pilots don't like is to be low to the ground and slow. It's just not a good feeling. And we are on basically a perfect left base right now. Check the winds here at St. Kitts, and hopefully, okay, it's saying 0 knots. So now we'll pull a little power out until you hear an engine sound change, and that should be about 2100 RPM right there. Take a look. 2100 RPM on the nose. It's bizarre. It's uncanny. It is uncanny. So far, like, the only problem with the airplane is me. That's my initial evaluation here. So far, the only problem with the aircraft is the pilot. So, hopefully the pilot can get his act together here. Let's see here. I did activate that, did I not? No. Alright, so let's see here. TKPK. Go away. I don't know what that is. This. My problem with this. This is a PMS GTN 650. And it's just not. The problem is they set up, or they added like so many things to it that it's kind of difficult to. Like, can it? Where is the map or the menu button? There should be a menu button here along the bottom, like this one right here. But on the 650, it doesn't do it. It does on the 750. So, anyway, all right. So now we are coming in a little cockeyed. Turbine Islander. I like the Turbine Islander. I like the Turbine Islander a lot. And now we're gonna level off at 1500, and it's gonna drop another 100 RPM. Watch this. Look, we'll look down, and it's gonna be 2000. Oh, I was wrong. Almost. We'll go first notch flaps, and it pitches up, which is correct. Yeah, I like the Turbine Islander. The only thing is, even in real life, it's a niche airplane, you know. To me, just for hopping in and going and having a good time, it's the Piston Islander. All right, let's check make sure there's no carb ice. All right, engine sounds fine. Alright. Bob's gonna grease this one on, I can tell you already. What are we? About 5 mile from. I'm flying airliner patterns in this plane, which is not necessary. It's amazing how slow you feel like you're going, and then you look at somebody else moving along, and you realize you're actually going pretty quick. Like watching Mishko Blue over there doing his approach. I bring the power. Next notch of flaps, and it pitches the nose up, which is correct. A little bit of left rudder, which is correct. And let's get set. I'm not going to quite slow it down to 70 knots yet, because on a 4.5 mile final, we will be sitting here until Monday. Alright. Fuel pumps. Haha, this is why we have a final checklist. Fuel pumps on, mixture is rich, carb heat is cold, gear is down and welded, seatbelts are secure, pre-landing checklist complete. Oh, no way, Cascadian, that's awesome. Tortola is one of my favorite places in the world. One of my favorite places to fly in the sim, for sure. As a matter of fact, I'm flying to Tortola in the ATR tomorrow. I think we got one white over there. Oh, that's right. This has got a really steep, this is the 3.5 degree approach. So the pappies are set for a much steeper descent. So what to do in this case is level off, pull some power, trim for 70 knots. Come on, a little less, a little less. And then once I get 2 white, 2 red, I can start my descent again. Alright, 70 knots, 2 white, 2 red. Probably looking at about 500 feet a minute descent, which at 70 knots is quite a lot. Alright. Yeah, 3 red, careful. Alright. Well, I'm making a hash of it today. I am not. Little bit of nose down trim. Little bit of power. Power out a little bit. Alright. 70 knots. Little too much power. 70 knots. And this is what you should be doing, 70 knots. And most people probably come down at 90 knots. It makes life more difficult. 70 knots. It's boring when you're going so slow. It's part of the problem. And 70 knots. Yeah, a little bit high. A little bit high. Now we can start bringing some power out. Watch that nose drop. We'll bring that nose up, back up just a little bit. Start bleeding off some speed. Looking at the captain's bars. See, it's still at 70 knots. A little bit more power out. A little bit more nose up. And power's all the way out. There we go. I mean, I tell you what. This thing feels... So finally had one... this thing feels really good with the CFD. It feels really good. Because the problem with single engine, well, really with any airplane in the sim, is you should be able to get your landing attitude should be about the same as your takeoff attitude, the pitch. Yeah, it's good work, Bob, to do that. Though that's good. It's good that you knew that and did it. Nice Eurowings. But your touchdown attitude should be about the same as your takeoff attitude. And the problem with the sim without CFD, lean the mixture here a little bit, turn the fuel pump off, is that you can't pull the nose up in the flare. Because if you do, it wants to go flying. And let's go, where are we going? TKPN. And come on, baby. And we'll go activate. And now with the CFD, it feels correct. Because right there, if you noticed on that landing, I had the nose up and the airplane didn't climb. It just mushed, which is what it should do. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. So the CFD feels great. Feels really, really good. Whoa. And my first instructor would yell at me for taxiing this fast. Not good. Not good. Alright, let's check our trim. A little bit after neutral. That's perfect. Go mixture rich. Fuel pump on. And Final is clear. This is gonna be a short hop. We'll go about 1,000 feet for this one. So basically, I just proved that the problem with the airplane is the person flying it, which is usually the case when I'm the person flying it. Alright. This is SLH Sim Design's TKPK, by the way. Great airport. Alright, takeoff power coming in. Takeoff power is set. Airspeed's alive. Little bit of left rudder. Which means we got a bit of a crosswind. And watch this. Just gonna take. See that? If you've got a little bit of nose up trim, it will take off all on its own. I'll show you guys this airport. Beautiful. No. Beautiful airport. If you have your trim set correctly for takeoff, the plane will take off on its own. So beautiful scenery down here today. What runway are we landing on here today? What runway is it? It is runway 10. Alright. Let's see here. Set my runway heading. Gosh, this is beautiful. The sim in the Caribbean at night is gorgeous. Alright, there's 1,000 feet. Pull the power back until you hear a change in the sound. A little fuel pump off. Check our fuel pressure. Fuel pressure's good. And why are we going 70 knots? We are going 70 knots because I have left the flaps down. That's why. Oh, I left 2 notches of flaps down for takeoff. Whenever you hear me sounding like I'm confident, slap me. Alright. But that's a good check though, if you're not getting the performance that you should, that you expect for the power that you have set, and your pitch attitude, then it is time to figure out why. Alright, let me get the nose down here just a little bit more. Come on. Hey Jamie, we can't, you know, it is what it is. Competence, we strive for semi-competent piloting here on the IslandSimPilot channel. I have not, Kenneth, and you know what? I've had 2 companies reach out to me and ask me if I would test their VR headsets, and I said yes to both of them, and neither of them ever sent them to me, so don't know why. I'm too cheap to buy them. But I should get them though, because I think for especially for 2024, having VR for the especially for the tail, so that tail dragger, the Super Decathlon that I was flying the other day, that is a great airplane. That is definitely gonna become. The only reason why I didn't fly that today is because I wanted to check out the update of this plane. Alright. That Super Decathlon is great, but you need peripheral vision to land tail draggers. Oh, I'm definitely getting, Scott, I'm definitely getting 2024. I'll be first day. I still haven't pre-ordered it. I should have, but I just haven't done it yet. But I am going to be a day one convert. And somebody said that if you pre-order, you get it 2 days early or something like that. I don't know if there's any truth to that. All right, let's bring the power back here into the white arc. Hold level. Get some flaps in. Is this as bright as the lights go? No, wrong way. Alright, I was gonna say I need more lights. Alright. Hold it level. Let's trim out a little bit here. Alright, oh, okay, I see it. So this one. So I was learning a trick today that works. This one, this airport, you've got this. I don't know if you can see my mouse on the screen. I don't think so. But there's a little bit of an outcropping that kind of cuts across, so you got to come in at an angle. So we'll go trim it out here. 4 miles still. Alright. So it is 2 days early, so you get a couple days early. I'm definitely gonna get it. I am definitely. So Scott, I need to get on that. Alright, let's go. Fuel pump on. Mixture is rich. Carb heat's cold. Alright. Just dragging myself back into 70 knots. Oh, this feels so good. The plane just feels great. I think, I'm telling you guys, I think CFD, I think the flight dynamics, the flight physics in 2024 is going to be awesome. Like, awesome. Alright, there's 70 knots. Pitch for that. Need a little bit more juice. Okay. Alright, there's about 3 miles, 70 knots. 300 feet a minute. This is perfect. Alright. Don't mind floating a little bit here because I need to get, I'm a little bit low. So I'll just float a little bit. There's definitely a little bit of a right to left wind. As soon as I see that pappy go white, I'll pull some power out. Kind of expecting it to go white by now. Come on. Give me a white. There we go. I'll wait for one more. Oh, this is a 3 light pappy. Check that out. Alright. So there are 3 light pappies. But they're unusual. Yeah, it did. Alright, there's 70 knots. That's too high a descent rate for 70 knots. That's a 3 light pappy. That is unusual. Definitely a little bit of a right to left wind. Alright. Bringing some power out. Bleed some speed off here. Bringing some more power out. Fuel pumps on. Mixture is rich. Gear is down and welded. Let's get the nose up just a little bit. Little bit of power out. Alright. Power is out. Power is out. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then a little bit of left rudder. I tell you what, this CFD feels so good. CFD feels so good. I know they have it on the 172 G1000, but I just don't think the flight dynamics of that plane are any good. I mean, this maybe I shouldn't say they're not any good, but they're not that great. Like, I would trust Just Flight more than I would trust a stock Saba plane. Because this thing, I've got the, get off center line here. Normally in real life you want to stay on center line, but in the sim I just like to get out of the way so everybody else can use the runway. But lean the mixture a little bit, fuel pump off. What was I saying? I forget. Oh, so I forgot. Lost my train of thought. Sorry. Hey, Aaron, what's going on? Are you in Anguilla right now? If you are, I am jealous. And there is a super decathlon right there. There's 2 of them. All right, let's see. How far is it over to Tapa? We're going over to Tapa. Oh, man. So, guys, Aviation Dude 95 is in Anguilla right now. My favorite place in the whole world. Bring in some power. Let's go. It must be nice to be back. I don't know why. So this thing has gone haywire. Let's go T-A-E-A. What do you mean searching? Like one of the biggest airports around here. BC Bird, exactly. 46 miles. Cool. We'll do that. Yeah. I mean, that is like... Jamie, you'd probably want 2 white... you know what's funny? I don't really know. I mean, I think 2 whites would be better than 2 red. I don't think I've ever landed at a runway with a 3 light pappy. That's a really good question. I mean, always better to be too high than too low. on the theory that nobody's ever hit the sky. All right, fuel pump on. Go flaps up. Mixture is rich. Sunset is gorgeous. Let's go flying. Final approach course is clear. In real life, I would go all the way back and then I would use the whole runway, but this isn't real life, so let's do this. Alright, we are on center line. Heading indicator checks with the runway number. Takeoff power coming in. Takeoff power is set. Airspeed is alive. Rudders are not working quite that well. Alright, there we go. And oh, I love dusk in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I really do. I really do. Alright, so let me see here. What is our heading? 110. Yeah. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? How about that? Let's see. There we go. Alright. Oh, look at that. That's a shaft of rain right there. This is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Oh, Kenneth, from your lips to God's ears, my friend. 1,000 feet AGL. We'll turn the fuel pump off. Check our fuel pressure. Yeah, I mean, Anguilla is just a special place. It really is. And I should not do this in the climb, but I'm going to switch fuel tanks because I forgot to do it before. And let's go nose down just a little bit. It's about 90 knots for cruise climb. And off we go. Yeah, I would love that kind of. Antigua is a special place. It really is. Alright. Message. I got messages apparently. So, yeah, let's get up into the clouds if we have to. What am I trying to do? Yeah, this whole. Oh, I'm in pan mode. I want to be in pan mode. Wow, I was wondering what the heck it was doing. Alright. 2,500. We might do a little bit of IFR flying. Ah, Scott, that was awfully kind of you. Thank you so much. Scott, I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. That's very kind of you. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. And let me see. Yeah, Jamie. That'll do it. I'm telling you, is there anything? I think the dusk time frame in the sim is just awesome. We'll pull the power back until you hear a power change. And then we'll nudge the nose over. We'll go 3,000 feet. And if you're wondering why you go 3,000 feet everywhere, or I go 3,000 feet everywhere, so it's above 3,000 feet AGL where the east-west VFR cruising altitude thing kicks in. So you can legally go through. I mean, legally you can basically do whatever the hell you want, but legally you can go 3,000 feet basically anywhere, east, west, north, south. Kind of lazy to do it that way, but technically going eastbound you should be at 3,500, which I am eastbound, so I should be at 3,500. But we'll just keep doing this. And 2,400 on the nose every time. It's perfect. Alright, and let's get the nose down here just a little bit of trim. Get ourselves turned here a little bit. So it seems like we got a little bit of a left to right wind. I don't know why this is in pan mode. Thank you. Maybe I'll just keep hitting a button. It turns it into pan mode. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, we're gonna come back here on the left a little bit. Yeah, it looks like our IFR flying for the day is done. And it also looks like we are a little bit out of trim, out of rudder trim. So I don't know if that's fixable in the sim. Let's see. Nope. Where is it? Alright, where do I have that set here? There we go. Alright. Sorry, I don't mean to make you guys sick to your stomachs. Alright, let's get back to the left a little bit here. And take a look down here. Let's see if we can't. Get that nose in a little bit. Or get that ball in a little bit, rather. Here's, well, you know what it is. So if the ball is out of center, you should trim towards where it's out of center. So now it's centered, but the problem is because my fuel is one thimble lighter on the left side, or on the right side than the left, the airplane's going to tilt left. The fuel balance thing in Microsoft Flight Simulator in small planes is way overdone. Way overdone. Jean, how are you doing? What's going on? I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it too. That's awesome. How you doing? I was just saying the fuel imbalance thing in the sim is way overdone. My name is Mike, by the way. My name is Mike. And the fuel imbalance thing is way overdone in the sim. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. I had forgotten now with daylight savings time being over, the late afternoon flights down in the islands are early evening flights. Do I have a landing light on? Go outside and look. I do. Oh, look. I mean, come on. Tell me that is not beautiful. Oh. I'm sorry. That is just gorgeous. Brew Pilot, what's going on? How you doing? Yeah, is that amazing or what? Just stunning. Got bungalow coming up, suction player coming up behind. Yeah, it is. Oof. I mean, this sim is just stunning. It really is. It really is. I love, and for anybody who's never been to the Caribbean in real life, the sunsets in the Caribbean are just unbelievable. I mean, they literally are. You know, some people say like the sunsets in the sim are kind of overdone, but the sunsets in the sim for the Caribbean are absolutely not overdone. Like it is so red. It's just cool. Alright, so we can come back right here a little bit. Yeah, totally agree, Bob. So now let's go. No. Now let's see if we can get a visual approach into Tapa, because we should be able to. Visual runway 7. Alright. Perfect. Perfect. Nice. So that's one of the nice things about this, the GTN series, is that you can get visual approaches. Where am I going? I'm going the wrong way. There we go. Still 30 miles out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, John. Oh, Rick's Cafe in Negril, Jamaica. That would be cool. I've never been to Jamaica. I have a very good friend of mine who lives in Jamaica. John, yeah, I'm the same way. And like, that's one of the reasons why I really like the ATR, is because you're kind of midway between, like, it's still a, cool, you know, an airliner, so to speak, right? But you're low enough that you can see the scenery. Bungalow, yes, live time and weather. Yes, indeed. Brew Pilot, what's going on, buddy? What are you up to? Let's see here. So the cool thing about the GTN, that's your, well, let me see if I can, yeah, hey, nope, whoops. Where am I? Did I set this up? Yes, I did. So the cool thing about the GTN is that's your direct track to wherever you're going, and this is your current track. So my direct is 109, my current is 111. So all you have to do is match these two up and you're spot on, which makes it really, really helpful when you're flying instruments. If you're flying approaches, you don't have to worry about, like, you're flying approaches and you want to correct for the wind on final, like on an ILS approach. All you have to do is just keep, you don't have to worry about like how much of a crosswind correction do I need. All you need to do is keep these two the same and you are good to go. That's how I fly instrument approaches in real life. And really kind of the best way to do it, if you're flying an approach, is to get those two synced and then look at what your heading is, and then you have a reference heading and you just stay on that heading all the way down, unless the wind changes, which it will at about 1,000 feet. But once you get a reference heading, you're good to go. Look. Oh, Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can kill me. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I think I might be back in a GA mode for flying now, because this flight has been just awesome. Let's see, what do you want here? What do you want? I was gonna click on your message and you won't tell me what your message is now. Might be that way. So runway 7. Let's plug that. I wonder where Jim Bridgman is. Jim Bridgman, where are you? I hope you're doing well wherever you are. Jim Bridgman is our resident flight instructor. There we go, there's 7. Jim would be proud of me for doing that. Doing well, haven't been connected for a few weeks. Dad is doing well. Dog is doing very well so far. We have another chemo session for him this week. But so I don't know if, so my dog is in a clinical trial for the cancer that he has. And so one of the weird things about canine cancer is they don't try to cure it. It's all the treatment is palliative. So they're not trying to actually cure the cancer normally, but with what we're doing, let's activate the approach. Alright, cool. With what we're doing, they are trying to cure it. So he's on a, see, heading at 122. So he's on the normal treatment. So he has prostate cancer, which is kind of weird for a dog. But he's on the normal treatment for the cancer, but then he's also on an experimental treatment that's being developed at Yale, and they've had some really, really good results. And so we are very hopeful that he's actually going to be cured of his cancer, which would be just amazing. Oh, Jamie, no problem. Enjoy that. Have a good time with it, and let me know how you're doing with it. I'm really excited for you for that. That must be really exciting for you. I'm happy for you, buddy. Let me know how it's doing. And thanks, Jamie, for coming along. So yeah, so we're really hopeful that that some cool stuff might be happening. So we shall see. Awesome, Jamie. I appreciate that. Take care. So we have a trip of like a 4-hour one-way down to Connecticut to get the clinical treatment and chemo on Thursday, and then we have 2 more weeks after that. He gets another ultrasound to see what the cancer is doing, and that is when we will know kind of whether it's having an effect. Which am I burning out of now? Left side. Yes, that's what I want. So thank you for asking, Brew Pilot. I appreciate it. So everybody's doing well. You know, and I hope the same can be said for you and for everybody watching. Because I tell you, life can be completely normal 1 minute and then completely not normal the next. So where are we? At 10 miles still. It gets more and more amazing every time I pan out. It's crazy. See the sun right off the wingtip just disappear. I just think a Cherokee is a cool looking airplane. I really do. I mean, I'm kind of biased towards them. But, and Just Flight did a really, really nice job just on the visuals of this airplane. I mean, it's just a beautiful airplane. I love me a Piper Cherokee. Alright, so we've got 5 miles to lose 1,500 feet, and we are going 104 knots, so we'll call it 2 miles a minute. So we've got about 2.5 minutes to lose 1,500 feet. So we need to lose about 750 feet a minute. Pilot math makes my head hurt. Actually, I hate math, but I love pilot math. Pilot math is fun because you can, like that sort of thing. You're going 2 miles a minute, you got 1,500 feet to lose, you got 5 miles to lose it in. How fast do you have to descend? 750 feet. And hey, Jean, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for dropping by. I really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had a good time. Alright. Oh, okay. And he's got... See this? This thing here is a fake glide slope. Oh, you can't... Hold on. Let me... Because... Game capture, settings, mouse, where is mouse? Capture cursor, okay. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor on the screen or not, but this right here, on the right side of the GTN 750 is a pseudo glide slope, and it's fake. Terry, my dog's name is Benny, and I'm glad to know, you know, it's funny, like, we know everybody by our screen names, but it's good to actually know real names, you know? Hey, Mark, what's going on? How are you? Great to see everybody here tonight. Why am I turning right when I don't need to be turning right? Alright, let's see here. So, and that's our 5-mile intercept right there. And we need to do that at 1,500 feet. Luke is that's a good name for a dog. That's a good name for a dog. My dog's name is Benny. Benny's a good boy. He's a really good dog. He's a funny dog. He's the smartest dog I've ever been around. Like, he's crazy. He's silly smart. And my wife is hilarious because So let me go fuel pump on here. Benny has the loudest bark you will ever hear in your entire life. He is so loud, it's ridiculous. And Paulo, what's going on? How are you doing? Man, this is great. This is like the VIP lounge this evening. And so my wife decided one night at the dinner table, because Benny sits there and kind of stares at us while we're eating. I'm doing great, Paulo. I'm doing good. We've had a really fun flight today. It's been a good time checking out the new the update to this airplane. It's been really fun. So anyway, so my dog is sitting at the table. Oh, nice, Joe. Joe. Golden Retriever. So mine is a Golden Doodle, and they're just great dogs. Any Golden Retriever, Golden Doodle, you know, any Golden whatever combo is great. But so my wife, we're sitting at the table, and she's like, I'm gonna teach him how to whisper. And I'm like, honey, you can't teach a dog how to whisper. Like, that's just silly. Like, you know, like, you can't teach a dog how to whisper. And within, at most 5 minutes, she had taught him how to whisper. And so now he knows how to whisper. I love the name Joe for a dog. That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so my dog knows how to whisper, which is pretty humorous, in my opinion. And let's see here. Alright, let's get ready here. Fuel pump's on. Mixture is rich. Carb heat is cold. Let's check the carb heat. Let's run it one time. Alright, no carb ice. And go back left here a little bit. So trim for level flight, and we'll bring it in here. Once we're 1.5 miles from the intercept. Once we intercept, we'll go flap. Okay, here we go. So this is going to give us a glide slope and left, right, lateral and vertical guidance, as the FAA would say, on our approach here. So what we'll do, we're climbing, which is not what we should be doing. A little bit of power back, second notch of flaps, make sure that's correct. Alright, fuel pump's on, mixture is rich, carb heat's cold. Gear is down and welded, seat belts are secure, and I am going completely I'm kind of all over the place right now. Alright. What's a good prop plane to fly, similar to how you are, but with autopilot? This has an autopilot, actually. This has a full autopilot right down here, and I think this is an excellent airplane. This is an excellent airplane. But if you want something more technologically advanced, like I would say something like the Bonanza is good. C-175 G1000. Yeah, this plane is excellent. So I actually own a Cherokee in real life, and this is the first time I've flown this one with the updated avionics, or with the updated CFD, which is the computational fluid dynamics, I think it is. And so it should this is how the plane should handle in Flight Sim 24. And it just feels awesome. Yeah, Paul, you're right. You're right. This one, I tell you what, it has a completely different feel than the old version. Completely different. In a good way. And it has like the mushiness of the controls as you get slow. It's awesome. It's really, really good. And if we have any headwind at all, and we don't, it will take us a week and a half to get down from here. Let's see. We're coming up on a 3-mile final at 1,000 feet, which is perfect. And I'm sure the glide slope is not coincident with the PAPIs, so you can ignore one or the other. That's actually a really good point, Paul. I'm going to check this out at one point and see if I can get it to stall. But I am fairly confident it will. Let that nose come up just a little bit more. And this is what I like to call boring flying, and this is my kind of flying. 70 knots, 400 feet descent. A little bit below it now, on glide path. And this used to be my least favorite thing to do in real flying, was long straight-in approaches, because they're actually quite difficult. Flying the pattern's a whole lot easier because you're not, when you fly a long straight-in approach, you're spending a lot of time. I've got way too much energy here right now. When you're flying a long straight-in approach, you've got a lot of time to hold the glide path and to hold center line. And if you're not good at doing those two things, flying long straight-in approaches can be frustrating. But once I started doing instrument training, you've got no choice because you're always flying long straight-in approaches. And I'm not really worried about the glide path or the PAPIs right now. I don't really actually trust that glide path because it shouldn't give me 4 red. What I'm looking for now is slow down just a little bit. Yes, that is, Paul. Reed, sorry about that. Yes, it is. So I need to get a little bit of energy out. 70 knots. I'm looking for. And now we'll just ride it down. Keeping an eye on the airspeed. And it's looking good, looking good. A little bit of power out. A little bit of nose up. Slow it down. And power's coming all the way out. And now just don't land. Whoopsie. Don't land. Don't land. There's trees in the runway. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, that is terrible. Well, there were trees on the runway, and I just hit the trees on the runway. That's a bummer. So that was an inauspicious end to today's flight. Sorry about that, guys. I hit a tree in the runway. Slow is safe and safe is fast. Yeah, that's that's true too. Let me see if I can get myself down to, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, unfortunately. Yeah, I hit a tree in the middle of the runway. That was annoying. So we'll pop down to VC Bird where everybody else is, and you know what? Actually, I'll do. I'm gonna go down to VC Bird, and I'm gonna roll the time back a little bit so it's daylight. I'm just gonna do one lap of the pattern, and that way. Let's see. That way we can just see how the plane handles. I know You know what's funny is I actually flew in here in a different plane the other day, and I noticed those trees on the runway. And it just didn't occur to me right now because I didn't see them until I hit them. Cafe, what's going on? Graham, how are you? Good to see you guys. Mr. Anderson. I know, Runway Spruces, right? Ooh, IslandSimPilot. What's going on, buddy? I saw you flying LOT Polish Airlines earlier today, Captain. Good to see you, buddy. All right, so I'm gonna roll this, get us some sunlight here, and we'll do one lap around the pattern. Just so now I got a little bit of a feel for the plane. And I need to, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to email them and ask them if they can do that. It would be awfully kind. Let's see here. Let's go weather. And let's go early evening at least. There we go. And we'll do one lap of the pattern here, and then we'll call it a day. All right, let's see here. What do we got? We got rotating beacon on, mixture rich, carb heat is cold, master and battery switch is on, fuel pump on, and we'll crack the throttle. Let me get my head. And that wasn't quite enough juice. All right, oil pressure is good, fuel pressure is good, fuel pump coming off. And fuel pressure is good. Avionics master coming on. Pull the throttle back here a little bit. Lean the mixture. And let's turn. We don't need those on anymore. So let's do a lap of the pattern here. And let's release. Oh, parking brake is not on. Okay. So hopefully we don't. Oh, we don't want to decapitate any of these gentlemen here. Alright. Sorry, guys. Alright. That was awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Captain. Good to see you, man. I meant to tell you that I was doing this tonight, but I was out planting tulips, if you believe it or not. Which you probably do believe it. I was planting tulips, I swear. One of those things you gotta do, because if you don't plant them now, they're not gonna grow in the spring. Alright, so actually I do need a little bit of panel lights here. Crank these babies back up. So alright, so mixture rich, fuel pump is coming on. Let's see, nav and strobe lights coming on, landing light coming on. We have enough room to take off. We do. Alright. Alright. I'm so used to being in more complicated airplanes. Alright. Let's see here. That's another thing we gotta do. Heading indicator checks with the runway number. Takeoff power is coming in. We'll just do a nice left-hand traffic pattern and land. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments are in the green. Airplane is going off the side of the runway, accelerating normally. Let's just pull the nose back here a little bit and off we go. Cafe, thanks, man. I appreciate it. When I look down to read, I'm almost about to crash here. Yeah, that will work really well with the 4060, and I really need to pay attention to what I'm doing. Alright, do I have any flaps in? Yes, I do, which I shouldn't. Oh, that's because I have state saving, that's why. Alright. So. Alright. I'm glad to hear that, man. That's great, Cafe. And if I'm not pronouncing your screen name correctly, I apologize. Alright, there's 400 AGL. We can make our left turn out here. And we'll keep it nice and coordinated. Dave, what's going on? Track IR5. Oh, you know, I'm totally not paying attention at all to where I'm like. Track IR. The only problem with track IR is that There is, I don't think they've done a software update in ages. There's 1,000 feet AGL we're coming up on. Fuel pump off. Check our fuel pressures. Fuel pressures are good. Dave, the Toby eye tracker guys, or no, I'm sorry, you track IR. Shoot, I don't have any ideas. That's the part of the problem with the track IR 5 is that there is no. They haven't done a software update in ages, so who knows what's gonna, you know, shoot, what's gonna break it. Soft, you know. So was it working before you installed 24H2, and then when you installed 24H2, it's not working anymore? Because that would be a bummer. Let's bring power back here. We want to see if this thing stalls. Yes, we do. Let's go see if this thing stalls. What is this all about? Jeez, Dave, I can't. I don't know. I would the way I generally get things like that to work is I just fiddle with them until I find something out. But tracks the headset, but didn't seem to connect to the Sims. I don't remember if there's any Windows settings like for allowing access to the track IR settings. Get out here to about 2,500 feet, then we'll see if we can install this thing. No, I can't think of anything, Dave, but let's let me think about it. I have my track IR, but my track IR is not oh, actually I think it still is installed. I'll see if I can get mine working, Dave. Alright, let's go power back. Let's put in a notch of flaps. And we'll keep pulling the power back. And we'll put in more flaps. Let's do slow flight. Slow flight is fun. Alright, we'll try to keep it level at 2,500. And bring the power back. And now we'll go full flaps. And now what we're going to do is see if we can get this thing to... Slow flight is technically within 10 knots of stall speed. And that's right there. I gotta get it level here. We're not level. So this is what is known as the region of reverse command, because right now we are adding power to keep our airspeed up rather than adding power for altitude. See that? You should be able to fly with the stall warning going off. Now a little bit more power in. It should fly just fine with the stall horn going off. Let's see here. It feels like super nose up, but it's not. But if you're in the plane, you feel like you're pitched towards the sun. Alright, now let's do a power off stall. Hold altitude. Power out. Power out. And there it goes. And you bring the power back in. And level off. Power off stall in Cherokee is no big deal. Yeah, Dave, I just wrote that down, so I'll see if I can get my track IR working with Windows 24H2, and then we'll see. All right, let me get the nose down here a little bit. Walk up the flaps, bring in some power. Come on. Walk up the flaps. Go full power and climb a little bit here. And then we'll do a power off. Yeah, definitely, Paul. And it shouldn't, I wasn't looking at the ball, but it shouldn't drop a wing and spin like that in a Cherokee, but let's see, flaps are all the way up. Alright, now let's see if we can get it to stall here. So we'll go power on stall. We'll keep an eye on the ball this time. And oh yeah, keeping a full right rudder now. That's, you know what? That is exactly what a Cherokee does when it stalls. Huh. Alright, let's get it level again. Alright, full power. Nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Put in that right rudder to keep the ball centered. Keep the ball centered. And yep. I mean, that's pretty realistic for a Cherokee. That is pretty realistic for a Cherokee. A Cessna will spin, the Cherokee will not. Why is the alternator not? I have an alternator message here. Oh. Okay. I don't know why that wasn't on. It should have been on. Alright, so bring some power out. We'll go notch the flaps. And let's see. Why are you not happy? I don't know what the nav flag is for. Alright, let's get that 7 on the left hash mark. And then we will know we are on base. And I'll fly the pappies down this time. Alright. Fuel pump on. Dave, I used to use Track IR5. I used that forever, and now I use Tobii eye tracker, the Tobii eye tracker 5, and the Track IR was fantastic. I loved my Track IR. I literally wouldn't fly without it. Yeah, and but the only thing is the wire, and you don't realize how much you don't like the wire until you don't have it anymore. So Tobii reached out to me like a year ago and asked me if I would do a review of the eye tracker 5, and I said sure, and I fully expected to use it for long enough to do the demo and then go back to the Track IR. And I never went back to the Track IR because the Tobii is just not having a cable, not having a wire. You just can't beat it. You just can't beat it. And I am super high right now. So I use the Tobii eye tracker 5, and it's fantastic. I would recommend it without hesitation. All right, we look like we're on glide path now. We're on the pappies. You're absolutely welcome, Dave. And I'm just gonna fly the pappies down this time, and hopefully not hit a tree. And I think I need just a little bit more power. Always turn in too early rather than too late. Because if you turn in too early base to final, then you can just sneak over. If you turn in too late, then you have a tendency to use your inside rudder to pull the nose around, and then you can get cross-controlled. So, 4 reds in the Pappy, which means level off. Don't continue descending. And then just fly the level until you get your 2 whites, 2 reds, and then start descending again. Don't try to like crawl back up little by little on the glide path. Alright, let me get my... Okay, that's better. Which is what I'm doing right now. Come on, nose up. Behave yourself. And while we're doing this, we can trim for 70 knots, which is perfect. And now we pull some power out. Alright. 2 whites, 2 red. We're just going to follow that down. Fuel pumps on. Mixture is rich. Seatbelts are secure. Gear is down and welded. So our pre-landing checklist is complete. A little bit more nose up trim. A little bit of power. Alright. Another good thing, another good tip is when you start wrestling, yeah, watch out for trees. When you start wrestling with the plane, let go of the controls for a minute. Just for like 10-15 seconds, let go of the controls and see what it wants to, because you might be the one causing the problem. And there we go. So we're a little high. So I don't mind being, this is literally an 8,000 foot long runway. I don't care being too high. But just keep the airspeed. Bring the power out and just let it come down a little bit, little bit, little bit. No. See, now it's not wanting to come down. No, it's getting slow. Slow and out of energy. So 70 knots, we're good. I feel like I'm wrestling a little bit too much here. But it is the Caribbean, it's hot. Nope, 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 nope. Alright. The problem is I think those trees are right before the captain's bars on the runway. There's 2 white, 2 red. And they are. I can see them now. Alright, so let's float here a little bit. A little bit of power. A little bit of power. Alright. Nope, no, no. When right where the runway starts to slope back down again, that's when I'm gonna put it down just at the about 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet past the 1,000 foot markers. The second notch, second 2 runway markers here is right where I'm gonna put it down. Alright, there's power. Slowly coming out. 60 knots. Power coming out. Alright, there we go. Now just hold the nose up. Don't land. Don't land. Don't land. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. So, yeah, so the airplane is definitely... yeah, so this, Mark, this is a payware. I forget who did this one, but it's very good. It's very good. I love this airport. I love flying into Antigua. Antigua. It's not Antigua. I was reminded of that. Antigua. And yeah, I think I think that was a successful afternoon of GA flying. Come over and park next to Bob here. Put our flaps up. Turn our fuel pump off. And there's no reason to be taxiing at this speed. And we'll lean the mixture a little bit. Alright, toes on the brakes. Mixture to idle. Cutoff. Throttle is idle. Set the parking brake. Lights coming off. Avionics master coming off. Before the mags come off. And it's the islands, so you gotta open that. Should open this as soon as I touch down. And we'll open the door. It's hot out. This is my favorite livery of this airplane too in the sim. It was just a really like honest working class Piper Cherokee livery. I like it. So that was a good one. I really enjoyed that, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody, thanks for Bob, thanks for flying along. Bungalow, thanks for flying along. And I don't know if anybody else is still here that was flying with us earlier. But yeah, the CFD is definitely different in this airplane. I mean, definitely different in this airplane. Bob, it was an awesome flight. It took me a little bit to get used to the feeling of, oh, no way, Mark, that's awesome. I was wondering, because I was looking, I'm like, I think that's one of us too. And that's awesome, Mark. Thanks a lot for flying along. But the CFG, or CFD, rather, is real pyro. The CFD is definitely a game changer, and this is what Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is going to be based on. Is everything is going to be CFD, and so I think it is going to be completely different in terms of flight physics and flight dynamics, and I think it's going to be like I think it's going to be so much better. Because this plane flies a little bit differently than my Cherokee because it's got the tapered wing. My Cherokee has what they call the Hershey bar wing. It's just straight out. It's like looks like a Hershey bar. But with this tapered wing, it flies a little bit differently. But it feels really good. It feels really good. Dave, I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I don't remember where I got this one, Mark, but this is one of the first airports I bought in the sim. This is one of the first ones that came out in the sim for this area. It's such a great airport. It's great for GA flying, great for airline flying. It's fantastic. But I think the flight dynamics in Flight Sim 24 are going to be absolutely game changing. I think it's going to be better than. I think it's going to be yeah, right. The trees. I think it's going to be better than X-Plane. I just think it's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait. And we're close. We're what, 10 days away, if that. So, in any event, everybody, I really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out tonight and watching the stream. And I think this is version 2.0, unless there's been an update that I missed. But I'll have to check on that one. And Dave, I will check on my track IR for you and see if it works, because I have 2H24 too. So cool, guys. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the support, Mark and Dave and Bob. Brew Pilot, Terry, good to see you. Pilot Paul, appreciate you coming out. Really appreciate the support. Keith, thank you for coming out and the kind words. Mr. Anderson, yeah, you know what, Mr. Anderson, I missed your comment. Migratory waterfowl and tarmac timber in the area. Exactly. That's great. Apologize for missing that earlier. And Graham, thank you for coming out as well. Appreciate it. Captain Hughes, good to see you, brother. Bungalow Reed, Paolo, I hope you're doing well. I hope your back is doing well, Paolo. I remember you were saying the other day your back was bothering you, and you're going for surgery. Hope you're feeling better. Jean, thank you for coming out. Appreciate it. Good to see you again as always. Jamie, let me know how the controller's doing for you, brother. That's great. I'm so excited for you. And Scott Kelly from earlier, really appreciate the support with Scott. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And in all likelihood, we will see you Wednesday at 4 p.m. So hope everybody has a good start to the week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we will talk soon, guys. Take care. Oh, you had the same problem with the trees. I gotta look and see if there's an update for it, Mark. I gotta look and see if there's an update for it. Bob, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Same to you. And take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your Sunday.